He never expected that opening his door to a stranger on a rainy night would change his life forever. But sometimes, fate doesn't knock softly, it storms in, drenched and desperate. And for single dad Ethan Cole, that night became the beginning of something he would never forget. It was past midnight when Ethan heard the faint tapping on his door. He'd just put his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, to bed and was halfway through paying bills he could barely afford when the sound came again, hesitant, almost apologetic. He frowned, cautious. This wasn't exactly the kind of neighborhood where people came for friendly visits. He opened the door slowly, and there she was, a woman in her late 20s, soaked from the rain, clutching a small duffel bag to her chest. Her lips were trembling, eyes filled with exhaustion and something else, fear. "I'm sorry," she said softly, voice cracking. My car broke down, my phone died, and the motel said no rooms left. I saw your porch light." Ethan hesitated. He was used to handling life alone. Since his wife died 3 years ago, trusting anyone new had been hard. But one look at her, shivering, hopeless, and he knew he couldn't turn her away. "You can stay on the couch," he finally said. "Just for the night." She nodded gratefully. "Thank you. I'm Claire." He handed her a towel and an old blanket, then went to check on Lily, who slept soundly, her stuffed bunny hugged tight. For a moment, watching his daughter's peaceful face reminded him why he did everything, every extra shift, every sleepless night. He quietly closed her door. In the dim living room, Claire had fallen asleep curled on the couch, the towel still around her shoulders. Ethan noticed her hands, they looked like they'd known work, not luxury. Whoever she was, life hadn't been kind lately. Morning came with the smell of pancakes. Ethan woke up to find Claire in the kitchen, humming softly, Lily beside her, giggling, "Daddy. Miss Claire made pancakes. She says the secret is love." Ethan blinked in surprise, rubbing his eyes. "Love, huh? That's one ingredient we don't get much around here." Claire smiled faintly, her eyes warmer now. "Maybe you just forgot how to taste it." It was the first morning in months that the house felt alive. After breakfast, Ethan expected her to leave, maybe say thank you and go back to whatever world she came from. But instead, Claire asked if she could make one phone call. "Of course," he said, handing her his phone. She stepped outside for a few minutes, speaking quietly. When she came back, there was a look in her eyes he couldn't read, relief mixed with gratitude, and something close to guilt. "Thank you," she said softly. "For the couch. For not asking questions." He shrugged awkwardly. "Everyone needs a break sometimes." She nodded, tears brimming. "You don't know how much you've helped me, Ethan. But you will." Then she left. Ethan didn't see her again that day. Or the next. Days passed, life slipped back into its rhythm, work, school runs, late nights. But 3 weeks later, his phone rang. A number he didn't know. "Mr. Cole," a woman's voice said. "This is Sandra from Riverside Development. We'd like to discuss your mortgage situation." His heart dropped. "What about it?" "Well," she continued, "your late payments have been fully cleared. And there's a note that your house renovation request was approved, with funding." "Congratulations." Ethan froze. There must be some mistake. "I didn't, no mistake," the woman said. "A private donor covered it all. Said to tell you, thank you for the couch." He sank into his chair, speechless. Claire, later that day, a letter arrived, no return address. Inside, a simple note: "When you opened your door, you didn't know I was running from more than the rain. I'd lost everything, my company, my faith in people, myself. But you reminded me there's still kindness that asks for nothing. I made one call, not just to repay you, but to keep your light shining. For Lily's laughter. For the man who didn't turn away. Claire." Tears filled his eyes. He looked around the small, worn house that had been his wife's dream. Soon, it would be whole again. That night, as he tucked Lily in, she asked, "Daddy, will Miss Claire ever come back?" Ethan smiled softly. "Maybe not in person, sweetheart. But sometimes, people come into your life just long enough to remind you miracles are real." He turned off the light, stood in the doorway, and whispered, "Thank you, Claire." Outside, the rain began again. But this time, it didn't sound lonely. It sounded like hope.